let me add to that dynamic as we get into the new swing state polling. The other aspect of this is that Republicans aren't stupid, are they? I mean, it's one thing to assume voters are stupid. That's bad enough. But they can't be stupid. They must see what's happening here. They know the law. Many of them are not stupid. They see what's happening with the post office. I assume Republicans love their country. They're there to serve. It's to me, it's still vexing as to what exactly is going on, even if it's at the risk of their political jobs. Polling shows Vice President Joe Biden is pulling ahead of President Trump in states Trump won in 2016. In the new CBS News YouGov poll out of Pennsylvania, Biden leads President Trump 49-43. And in Wisconsin, another 6-point margin. Biden sitting at 48% compared to Trump's 42%. And a new statewide poll from Michigan found Trump trailing Biden by 11 points, 40% to 51%. And Joe, again, I raised the issue of what is happening with the post office. When President Trump looks at these numbers, it's a worthy question. Is it not, that there is sabotage involved here?
Well, the president's desperate, and we've known that he'd do anything to get reelected. And so the question is for people, as they're looking at the president of the United States deciding to radically restructure the United States Post Office just months before the most important election of our lifetime, and the election that the United States Post Office will play the most important role. They'll be deluged with possibly 100 million mail-in ballots. And
we're in a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic. The president knows exactly what he's doing. I'm curious if there's a Republican senator on Capitol Hill patriotic enough to take up this cause and say that this just is not going to be allowed. We shall see. But you look at those polls, Jonathan Lemire, and they line up fairly consistently with what you've been hearing, what we've been seeing, and that is Michigan apparently out of reach right now for the president, and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania both still solidly in the Biden camp. You look throughout the state of Pennsylvania with the suburbs of Philly, Philadelphia proper. You look at Scranton, Wilkes-Barre again. A big media market that usually breaks big for Republicans. That's now, of course, Biden's doing well there, of course, because it's his hometown. The president is facing real difficulty as we get halfway through August.
That's right, Joe. And the president has received some new briefings from his senior campaign staff about where things stand, which I'll get to in a moment. But first, just a little more politics about this weekend, of course. This is the White House with these executive orders. And as you note, they're of dubious, perhaps, constitutionality. This is them trying to frame the president stepping into the breach here. This is the idea that a deal couldn't be brokered on Capitol Hill. This is the president as a man of action trying to get this done. Though, of course, as we pour through this, there seems to be less here than expected. One other thing to flag, payroll tax helps fund Social Security. And Democrats have been pouncing on that real third rail, suggesting this is the president trying to cut into that. The president denied that yesterday as he departed New Jersey, saying that the fund, that Social Security wouldn't be touched. It would come from an unspecified general fund. So that's something we're going to need more specifics on in the days ahead, if indeed he does move forward with the payroll tax deferral. But back to the swing states. The president and his team, their new internal polling, and he was briefed on this over the weekend in New Jersey, suggests indeed what you said, Joe, that Michigan is basically out of reach. The Trump campaign has stopped advertising there. They are not playing there. They've all but ceded Michigan, another state that you and I have talked about, that in the early parts of this campaign, they thought they had a chance to flip, a state they lost in 2016, but feel like they can turn things around this time. Minnesota now, they're concluding that's out of reach. That's not going to happen. They're not going to attempt to play there. They are seeing some encouraging signs. They feel like the gap has narrowed in some of these battleground states. They think New Hampshire could be one, Wisconsin and other states that won't have college students on campus this fall, who won't be able to register to vote there. Same-day voting, for instance, in Madison, Wisconsin, not going to happen at the University of Wisconsin because students likely won't be on campus. But Pennsylvania is one that they're really trying to make a push here. Joe Biden has been consistently ahead, as you've said. the White House team, the campaign team, thinks that it's within reach. They feel like they've whittled off a little bit of his margin. And this week, of course, they're going to start training their fire on whoever Joe Biden's vice president pick is going to be, which we expect to come in the days ahead. That will be a focus here for a few days. And for this White House, a relief. This whole campaign has been, the story every day of this campaign has been about Donald Trump. For at least a few days, they feel, with scrutiny on Biden and his pick, the story will be about Joe Biden.
Well, I'll tell you what,
still out
Mika,
on
New
Morning
Hampshire
Joe.
is going to be difficult still. I don't see them making a play for it in New Hampshire. Wisconsin could be competitive till the end, but again, you look at the breakdown in Pennsylvania, I just don't see how they make up enough votes to make put Pennsylvania in their column by the end. So this electoral map continues to shrink by the day for the Trump campaign.
Which I think explains the other side of the story. We'll continue to cover the post office issue.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.